Morning, my name is Ray Hughes Jr., Fire Commissioner. I was chief back in the 70s, and I'm in the fire department for 47 years.
Hi, my name is Ed Sheehan. I was ex-chief in 1991, and now I'm presently commissioner with Ray, and I have 43 years experience in the department. We've seen a lot in the last 43 years, and I want to discuss one of the things that I'm probably most proud about is being trained on the Jaws of Life as the first one. I was an 18-year-old student out of Colonia High School, and we were the Jaws of Life team trained first to work with the Jaws of Life, and we've been very, very good with it every year and gotten better right up until the present time. We answered to all the accidents that are in the area on the Garden State Parkway, Route 1, and there's been many situations where we've answered and we were able to save the people that were in those vehicles. One call that I do remember is a call on Route 1 where we answered to it when we first got the Jaws, and all the units down in Roselle and those areas, the Mets unit out of the airport, they all responded before us, and they couldn't get the person that was in a pickup truck underneath a tractor trailer. And we were able to get there. Our team took over. We had a box truck back then where it was like a 5-man operation, 4 men and an officer. And 2 men would work the actual Jaws of Life itself. The other 2 guys would work the teeth of the Jaws, and we were able to get the fella freed from the vehicle within about a 10-minute period. And the nurses and the doctors were in the trailer administering first aid to him. And he was able to be freed out. And he walked into our firehouse about 2 months later and said, "I was the guy that was in the pickup on Route 1, and you guys saved my life."
It happened about 2:45 in the afternoon. A thunderstorm came through. The tank was hit by lightning. There was about 2 million gallons of gasoline in the tank. Obviously it caught fire. Woodbridge Fire Department was dispatched, responded, called for mutual aid. The township as a whole, we all sent 16 pieces of equipment. Colonia sent 2. Basically everybody sent 2 pieces of equipment to help them. The fire lasted probably a little over a day before it was finally put out. They had the assistance of mutual aid from 5 other counties, everybody bringing in what they call large diameter hose. To feed this fire, they also had the New York City fireboat pumping water from the river through 3 of those 5-inch lines to pump like 6,000 gallons of water a minute up to the scene. So it was a very long fire. Basically, it was what we call a surround and drowned, and keeping all the other tanks cool so they didn't burn also.
My name's Ricky Capiciana. I'm Deputy Chief over in Colonia Fire Department. I started here probably at the end of 8th grade as a fire explorer, which was a great program. It taught me a lot about the fire service and what entails of fire service. I graduated high school, I want to say a week after the high school, went right into the fire academy, and I've been a fireman since 2007. I've been an officer here for the past maybe 6-7 years. Like I said, rank of deputy chief, and currently I actually work as a firefighter in the town of Kearney, which this place really helped me transition into that. Pretty much this job, I love it. You know, it's the best job in the world, and you know, we go to multiple different kind of calls. Everybody thinks we just go to fires, but we go to carbon monoxide calls, down wires, power lines, flooded basements, you name it. If you have an issue, you call us, and chances are we're going to fix it. There's a lot of times where you're under pressure, especially when you're an officer and you're in charge of the guy's safety and the overall call, and you got to rely on everybody that's around you. For example, we had a call not too long ago, maybe a few weeks back. A few of us were sitting here, and the bell went off, and we looked, and it came in as a working fire, meaning that the house is on fire and with people trapped. Person, elderly, he fell, couldn't get out of his house. So, you know, once you start thinking of that, everything starts moving a little bit quicker. and you start worrying about what's my next step. And this place really trains you in how to go about that. And we did the job. We got there. We put the fire out. We got the guy out, and our day went on just like any other day after that.
My name's Anthony Malgiri. I've been in EMT for 3 years.
My name is Brian Zwickle. I've been in EMT for about 2 years now.
One story that really makes me proud to do my job was last year, just an average guy, 50 years old, out for a jog, came home, collapsed, and his wife found him. So we got there, we used our AED to resuscitate him. We got a pulse back, took him to the hospital, and a couple hours later, me and my partner went up to check on him, and his wife was there. She gave us a big hug, and she was crying. That makes me feel really good to know that me and my crew were there, and we did everything we could for this person that we didn't even know. We didn't know anything about them, but we went there and we tried our hardest to help them.
I think a big story that sticks out in my head as far as being an EMT, there's a lot of overdoses nowadays in society, and we had this one. When we got there, he was not responding to us, he wasn't breathing, and his friends had told us he had overdosed. We gave him the drug we needed to give him, and we started doing CPR on him. Within 5 minutes, he came back, and we got him to the hospital alive. After we left him there, the nurse said she didn't know if he was going to make it. About 2 weeks later, he stopped by the building and wanted to thank us for our service, because now that his eyes were open to what had happened, he had stopped doing drugs.
I really enjoy coming to work and doing my job. It feels good to go out and help people, and makes you feel good when you see your patients walk out of the hospital.
Me as well. I love to see when people are actually helped, when you make a difference, and when the job really matters. For that, I do enjoy my job as well.
Hi, my name is Detective Joelle Schlossberg. I've been a police officer for 14 years. I decided to become a police officer when I was 21. I knew it would be a challenge. Everybody said I couldn't do it, but I wanted to, so I made it. A memorable story that I have is about 6 years ago, there was a mother that called to tell us that her 12-year-old daughter was home alone and that someone was in the house with her that had broken into the house. So this little girl, 12 years old, was home, and she heard a knock on the front door, and her mother told her that she shouldn't answer the door when her mother wasn't home. So she didn't go to the front door, but she stood in the kitchen so she could see out the front window. She said it was two males, and when she didn't answer the front door, they went around to the back, and she said she heard glass break. So she ran upstairs to her room and hid in her closet, which was very small. And she called her mother from the house phone, and the mother stayed on the phone with her while the people were in the house, and they came in, they ransacked her room, the parents' room, and a lot of other rooms in the house. But when they came into her room, she had the closet door cracked a little bit so she could see them. She got a full description of the suspects, and when they left the house, she heard the front door shut. She ran to her bedroom window and got a description of the car that they got into and the license plate, and we were able to catch them within a half hour and charge them with burglary. And she was the most brave girl I've ever met at 12 years old, and she was very smart. She got everything that we needed they catch them.
Hello, my name is Detective Mark Zeno. I've been a police officer for 23 years. My first part of my career I started off in Irvington, and the latter part, the last 15, I've been here in Woodbridge. I wanted to become a police officer because my father was a police officer, and I wanted to follow in my father's footsteps, and so that led me on to lead into my career in law enforcement. My most memorable job, that'd have to be a bank robbery that we had. And the reason that it was the most memorable to me is because we received a call of the bank robbers. They gave us a description of their car, and the good thing was that the bag of money had a tracking device in it. So they gave us a description of the car, and we're waiting and we're looking for the car, and what we didn't know was the bank robbers had switched cars, but they still had the tracking device. And the headquarters was telling us where the car was, and they got to the point where they told us the car was right next to us. But we look over looking for the description of the car they gave out, which I think was a BMW, and it was in the BMW next to us, it was a minivan. And when we look over, the two guys did not look over at us. They just kept their eyes open and they were staring straight ahead. And as soon as they started to move, headquarters let us know that the car had started to move, and at that point we realized that they had switched cars. And we had a long chase with them. Fortunately for us, or unfortunately, they crashed. We were able to recover the money, the gun, and capture the two suspects involved in the bank robbery. So the bank was happy. We were happy that no one was seriously injured, and that case went to court, and all involved were convicted, and they received their sentencing. So that was one of my most memorable jobs, because we were able to catch suspects that had a jump on us because they had switched vehicles and they thought they were getting away, but you can't beat the law. So that was one of my favorite stories. One thing I like to pass on to the students is decision making. You know, depending on the decisions you make can affect you for the rest of your life. You know, if you're hanging out with your friends and your friends are bad decision makers, they can make something that could impact your life. So be careful with who you're hanging out with, and be aware of your decisions, because the wrong choice and decision could have a very bad impact on your life. So think smart, guys.
How we can be heroes just for one day. How we can be heroes just for one day.